With all the guff that I've given the Black Clover anime, with some of its criticism, and also as well, a lot of weird choices, I've got to say, this episode is so far my favourite one of the entire series. Bunch of great animation, although Asta lost his head midway during a fight scene. Also as well, a huge amount of the cast I want to see, some great little cameos, like, overall, like, this episode and all that just had me pumped and laughing, and the fact that the actual anime is taking its own shots at the voice actor, I kind of gotta agree, alright, like, that's pretty goddamn smart. So, after finally arriving to the capital, which, by the way, like, looking back at the manga again, where you can actually see the capital in the village, so they kind of changed that little bit around, unless, like, these Asta and Yuno are fucking idiots, and got lost at Albuquerque, and all, like, and they just, like, went to the other country, and it was like, yeah, there's a desert behind there, it looked like it was a 5-minute walk, but no, fuck it, we're just, like, in the desert. Like, there was some dumb, goofy shit with, like, the last couple episodes that we've had, but they finally arrived, and I've got to say as well, this is definitely one of the things that helps the show a lot. I think, like, it has such a really gorgeous art, this show, like, you get to see the capital, and it's just vibrant with people, it's vibrant with, like, all these nice rustic, like, buildings and shit, you get to see that, and one of the greatest things is, like, Asta and Yuno are just chilling around, looking around. You get to see some characters later on from the series, so there's, like a noble girl that kind of appears and all that. I can't really remember her name too much since she's only been in a couple or two of, like, the arcs of the manga, but she's, like, just a real, just fun little character to know on there. There was another one that I did see in the background, and not to mention, this is where we get to see so much of the cast. Like, when they get to the entrance, we get to see the Magic Knights, or the 13 Court Guards, or slash Espadas, almost like when you see them. Like, you've got that Kenpachi slash Noritora love child that you've got going on. Griffith is in there. You've got, one of the Shriek from Berserk as well, who's just sleeping all the time. You got motherfucking Yami. This is the character, like, if no one's ever seen me talk about the manga, it's my favorite character. I love this guy. He don't give a shit, and he's like, what was you doing all this time, Yami? And apart from trying to kill Asta, which, trust me, a lot of us have been trying to do, he was like, I got lost and took a shit. Alright. Character established. Character, backstory, all set up, and we get to meet a bunch of... Now, as someone that's, like, kind of saying, like, oh, how are they going to portray some of these characters? How are they going to look in, like, sort of their art style that they're portraying? And I've got to say, we get to see 3 of the bulls this week. We get to see Finral, Gordon, and Yami. Yami is exactly how I want him, just fine. Finral, I wasn't expecting that kind of stuff with his hair and all that looking a little bit weird, but I've got to say, like, generally, I really like his voice actor. I really like they portrayed him perfectly well. Gordon, like, he's like a fucking no-name in the manga, so I'm gonna be fine with Gordon. It's like, Gordon, you do your thing, man. Like, you still haven't had your own time in the manga. They don't bother with you for some reason, so fuck it. Like, on there, and you get to see a bunch of the other cast in there, like that dickhead Sek, like, he's like there, and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna use Asta, so I look better in the exam. What happens if you try and fuck with that guy? Asta comes around, like, with some really nice gorgeous animation. Just don't pause it midway, because you'll see Asta's head just turn into green. It looks so stupid when I paused it, and it's like, he comes in, smashes, and take that out, and it's like, no matter what, and like, throughout all of this, he's like, I don't care what any of you guys think. I'm here to become, like, you know, the Magic Emperor here. Like, I want that to be my goal. And, like, kind of proving as well to, like, you know, he can still catch up with Yuno. Like, this is still a thing. Even though, like, of course he did, because he's fucking Yuno, and of course he's like the rival character where he does everything so perfectly. Yes, like, he wouldn't even, like, flick the back of his hair if it wasn't just the perfect way of doing it. Like, of course you're gonna have that. But overall, like, when I'm seeing a bunch of this cast, and I feel like this is a little different in a way of the episode where I complained about that, because there's a bunch of in-canon in here as well. There's a bunch of in-canon filler, mainly mostly from the chapter 2 of the manga, which is still weird to say in episode 4. But, like, it's a nice addition to it because, one, they give extra scenes to characters. They also give us another early introduction to another character, Noelle, which, like, I was surprised because she was never in chapter 2. Like, magic, and I was like, why wasn't she there? And I always thought she just took the exam previously, but it kind of cleared up one of these questions that we had early on, where we see like her brother Nuzzle, and I'm like, oh shit, like that's something to like explain reasons why. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be looking forward to maybe next, I'm pretty sure it's either next week or the week after we're going to like find out a little bit more about that character. But there was just a great amount of cast variety going on there, even though the captains are a bit questionable with a lot of their designs and a lot of, like, how they look from other series. But I generally was having a lot of fun in this episode. It was like a lot of fun characters introduced, like honestly some great animation, and like there was some comedy on there. Like I kind of like that, like had those little anti-birds going around. It's like, hey everyone, like you get more of these if the more shit you are at magic, and of course Ass is the one getting all of them, and it's just that the little shitty bird that just keeps going there, like just always looks really derped, like on there, like the motherfucker's name, Nero, I believe his name is, like the little bird. Like, every time I see him, I'm like, yeah, he just don't give a fuck. Let Nero do his own thing on there. But overall, it's like, what else can I really say about, like, this episode that, like, as someone that's, like, generally been concerned with, like, and I still am, I'm still concerned with how this is going to be happening in the entire anime. Like, considering that it's 50 episodes we're going to be having, like, 51. And I was worried about placing, and it is doing well. That's the one thing I will say, and all that, after hearing this news and all that, I'll say that the Black Clover manga's been doing very well in the rankings, and also as well, the anime's been seemingly getting good reception, and like hearing some like good things as well. More of the reasons why exactly this happened and why they actually did this. For people who don't know, like with their last series that like Studio Pierrot like actually did, Twin Stars Exorcist did incredibly well for them. Like I think it was like one of the highest on Crunchyroll. I believe it was like, it did, I always remember seeing it just up there where it's like, people wanting to watch this, and like, I feel like they picked the show that was like, this is kind of a similar manga, and hopefully we can pull this, and also as well, they're trying to fill that hole of Naruto in there while Boruto's going on, so I feel like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to find anything, and same thing with Academia, while that's out of the way, it's like, let's try and push something like that. So you can see all this stuff that's happening with like with Clover, and of course like, not only just the studios doing this as well, but same thing with the magazine as well. They really want to push Clover to be like the next thing. Already got like video games out of the way, arcade, like they're trying so hard with it, and I hope that with the show improving more and more, like that's what I'm hoping for. It's like, you know, it gets up there, and it like I think all that in a while, like Clover can rightfully deserve it. Do I still think it's getting way too much of it all at once? Yes, but I'm kind of a little bit happy to hear that it is slightly doing well right now. Like, it is being accepted mainly in the Japanese market over here. I think Clover's going to get a little bit more acceptable probably later on, and especially with the English dub as well coming into it. Like, I think that'll fix a few people's, like issues with it, which is a shame because, like, as far as I've heard, like, Noelle, she sounds fine. Yami sounds like the fucking boss he is. Funroll sounds like, of course he sounds like. Griffith/Vengeance sounds like exactly how he's... Like, everyone's fine. It's just, like... It's just every time like you hear that with Asta, you're like, and I hate to like keep mentioning it every week, but it is distracting, and I've seen so many people talk about that, and when people know when Japanese isn't their main thing, and it isn't just jumping on the bandwagon, it's like straight up when you generally can tell that, and you don't even need to be fluent in the language. So, like, and I've even seen the Japanese forums as well, where they've been complaining about the voice actor, where it's like, it's not us, trust me, it has been them, but they still enjoy the show, and I'm just glad to hear that. And I hope that, like, once it gets later into the series and all that, where it does get a little bit more original, and it does start, like, opening up, it's just always the start of Clover, it does feel like that. It does feel like that Naruto stuff going into there. And it's just like, overall and all that, the main thing I love about Clover, I love the cast. Like, I think the cast is, like, one of the things that I always go for. Like, if cast and story go hand in hand, fantastic. But this thing, like, you could have the best story in the fucking world. I'll enjoy that, but to me, a lot of the time, it don't fucking matter unless your entire cast are the most blandest pieces of toast that have ever come out there. Like, if what happens in their world, why should I care about the world if there's no one in the world that I care about, or if there's, like, enjoyable. That's why, like, some of my favorite series that I absolutely adore have someone like one of my most favorite members, like cast members, like that's work, and I feel like Clover does that. And just as well, they're really putting a lot of budget into this, and I really hope this like does a little bit further and all that. And next week, I'm excited to see the balls. They teased it this week, and I'm like, can I have the black balls, please already? I want my cast on there. But on all that, that's all I've really got to say about the episode. Like for the most part, like it's enjoyable, it's fun, and I cannot wait for more about it. Like, I guess, if anything, like, the one little teeny bit is like, yeah, I kind of wish the pacing was a little bit faster, but, like I said earlier, if the pacing's going hand in hand when it's working with some good in-canon filler, then that's fine. It just felt a little bit dragged on with, like, Ozzy the first 2 episodes. Third, kind of, as well, and then this one was, like, definitely, like, striving through improvement, and I'm really looking forward to once we finally get stuff like, once we probably get out of the first volume, I'd say, of the material, like once we're finally out of here, and I'd say like once we get to volume 2 and further beyond, that's when it's going to be getting really hyped. So we're looking forward to it. All from me, just goddamn good episode, can't wait for more. It's all from me, thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.